Get ready, folks. It's time to groove. We got tech news. Let's make that move. Video games and all the fun. Welcome to the show. The party's begun. Free entertainment, we're here to play. Tech and games in a funky way. We're all around and reading too. Let's talk tech. We got the latest news. Free entertainment, we're here to play. Tech and games in a funky way. With our monk and reading too. Let's talk tech. We got the latest news. Cyberpunk monk, you know he's fly. Dropping knowledge from the tech sky. Aurora's got the gaming scoop. Listen close, don't fall off the loop. Free entertainment, we're here to play. Tech and games in a funky way. With Aurora and reading too. Let's talk tech. We got the latest news.
Hello and welcome to the Reading Entertainment Podcast, episode 463 for October 27th, 2024. My name is Nathan Reed Spruth. Joining me this week, we have Andrew Rowe McFain.
You just managed to hurt me in different ways every time.
I know. I think that was probably the best one we've had so far.
Eh,
At least beat
in
wise.
some ways, yeah,
Yeah.
like musically, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I just put in the word. I don't make the things. I just let it automatically create the music.
No,
so.
I can tell. Yeah, no human could possibly be that cringy.
I think you are incorrect, my friend. But I would be
probably.
I would be very bad at writing the lyrics or anything. But that I tried for 30 minutes today to get one that sounded decent, at least musically going, and I think that was the best.
You didn't like specify that you wanted some kind of like neo disco sort of
No,
thing?
I did. I said that was funk.
Okay.
FUNK.
I see. Yeah.
And so I tried different genres, and that was the best genre I found today for what I had in the prompt.
I see.
Yeah. So, Aroa, where can we find you?
You can go to our website. Hopefully it'll take you to a page of links that'll let you go to the stuff
Go-
that's there.
Go to the stuff that's there. Aroa.website, all of our links are there. You can go find me, Nathan Reensbruth, everywhere at Reeton, mainly on Twitch, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time. Give me 1 second here. Okay, Aroa. So now that we know where to find all of us, including Cyberpunk Monk, who decided he didn't want to be here today because I think he's hanging out with his girlfriend or something, which is really interfering with our
Fucking
podcasting
loser.
time. With that being said, what games did you play this week or last couple of weeks?
Power Wash Simulator.
That's it?
I feel like there was other stuff, but I'm having a bit of a brain leak.
Are there any particular levels you like in Power Wash Simulator?
Oh, it's all just a blur to me, man.
Oh, okay. Because I know they have
just,
they have like the DeLorean from Back to the Future. You can clean.
Yeah, I think that's DLC though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they have
I
like quite a few.
do have a bunch of. Did you know that was published by Square Enix?
That doesn't surprise me, honestly, because they do a lot of publishing for things that are not RPG related or Tomb Raider.
I guess, but I don't know. Seems really fucking weird to me, but yeah, oh shit, I was gonna go. They got like Final Fantasy stuff. That,
Oh, right. Yeah, they had like I know. Didn't they have the motorcycle from Final Fantasy VII?
Probably. There's like
I don't
6 or
know.
7 things.
I don't like Power Wash Simulator. I get why some people like it. I don't mind it. I played it with Durga, but it's just like I don't care. I don't care about cleaning up all of this fucking graffiti, and I just want to play games where I shoot people or have a storyline.
It's like yeah, I don't know, just relaxing, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of people like that. They're just like, oh, it's just relaxing for me to go around and do this, and I'm just like, cool. I don't. It's not a game I
I
want to pick up and play all the time if I don't have like a friend that's wanting to play it.
I can tell you right now that if those Tesla robots are everything that they're supposed to be,
That they're
you
not.
know what people are saying? Well, okay, what people are saying that they are, which is that they're remote controlled by humans.
Yeah, which is what they are.
I I think that's what that's what we're gonna that's what work is going to turn into. You know,
You so
you know what I
instead
mean?
of having like automated robots, you control a robot doing manual labor.
Yeah, we're gonna have people who are sitting in their house with VR headsets that are going to be the low paid blue collar workers, roofing houses and doing lawn care and all that stuff.
I would prefer that over like total automation, and it would also make it a lot, safer for workers so they're not chopping their hands off and
Exactly.
stuff.
Yeah, can you imagine construction sites just being a bunch of remote controlled robots? Like
That'd
it
be
would
cool.
it would be great.
I doubt that'll happen. The one idea that somebody has is that like we are all well, kind of similar, like, but it's automated. Uh, but like you're assigned a robot, and that robot goes and makes you money because eventually they think that you're gonna get to a point where 95% of jobs are gonna be automated, and so there's not gonna be a way for the population to actually make money. So you'll be assigned a robot that will then make you money. And I don't know,
That
maybe.
seems like a weird way of getting around just giving everybody basic income, but
Yeah, yeah. That's basically what they just need to do. Did you play anything else? You said you were brain farting.
yeah, well, there was a real. I remember the reason I couldn't think of anything is because it's been Next Fest, and I just kind of played a whole bunch of demos.
Oh yeah.
Um, and to be straight up, most of the demos that I played were just like nothing.
I played one.
Like,
I played one demo.
yeah,
And it was, I forget what the name. Keep Driving. And I thought it was pretty fun, where you're just trying to take your piece of shit car to your friend's house to play video games, and uh, you're like trying to keep it going and not like have your car break down or run out of gas while you're on your way to your friend's house with a N64 game to play.
so is it like a? Is it like an arcadey sort of thing, or is it like a one of
It
those goofy simulations?
it's a goofy simulation. Somebody compared it to like FTL, where
Oh,
you're
that
like where you're trying to like upgrade your car, and you have like obstacles that get in your way that you have to like beat the obstacles to get past the get past like the herd of sheep that happens to be blocking your path or something like that. You also have to like eat food to keep your energy up, and like consume caffeine and stuff to stay awake. You can also pick up hitchhikers on the way who may or may not help you, or hurt you in certain ways. So
how far away does your friend live from you?
I don't know, man. It takes forever. It seems it's not like it's like I'm
Picking up
driving.
hitchhikers and shit. Jesus, you driving cross country just playing 64?
I think you're driving across the state, but yes, you're driving quite a bit to go play the N64 with your friend. It's silly. It's very silly. Like, cause you have to go you go from town to town, so it's got to be like across the state. It's not like you're just like us, where it's like, oh, I just drove 3 blocks. when I played video games with my friends.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was thinking it would be like a jalopy or the long drive or something where like you're you're just it's a very detailed driving simulation, but you don't have to get very far, but you're driving like just an absolute fucking junker. And so like every 10 feet the thing stops working or whatever. But
Nope. It's not that much of a simulation. It's a left to like
yeah,
you just
it's
drive left to right, but you're like you choose the route that you're going on, like which towns you stop in, and say you can see like, okay, this town has a gas station, and I need gas, so you'll like stop at that town rather than the other town that may have like a place to upgrade your car. So it's neat. I had fun with it. I don't know how much it's gonna cost when it comes out, but that's the one game for Next Fest that I actually downloaded and played. I downloaded some other ones. I just didn't play them because I've been busy and stuff. Anyway, any other games? Any other notable games before we move on to all the games I played?
uh nothing that was good.
Okay,
Um yeah, cuz like I played several of the demos and it was just like just very mid, almost all of it.
not a good year for Next Fest then.
I have like a couple dozen others that I just haven't touched. Uh might be good,
I
but
see.
we'll just have to see.
Yeah. I it's been a couple weeks, so I'm just gonna go this in kind of a random order. We were gonna talk about a story last week or the week before, and we ended up not doing it because there was nothing really notable there was like an Xbox showcase, but none of the games were worth talking about.
Ain't no shit.
And at the very end of the article that I was reading, there was a new game that was released called Blind Fire for $9. And it is a first person shooter, but you're blind. Like it's super dark, and when people like shoot their guns, they become somewhat visible sometimes, or if they move too fast, you can kind of see an outline of them. So you're trying to use like audio cues and the environment to see where they're at to be able to actually kill them. Sounds like a good idea. It's not great.
No,
Played
that
it.
sounds really frustrating.
It was really frustrating. Played it with AirFox, and I don't. The question we kept asking ourselves was this worth $9? And the answer is kind of no. One thing that's nice about it is the longer the round goes on, like different light sources will start appearing. So at the very end, it actually turns into like an FPS game where you're actually like
Mm.
able to see the people you're fighting against. The problem with the game releasing when it did is it was like less than a week and Call of Duty ended up releasing, and so I don't think Blindfire has much of a chance.
Yeah. Well, and so is it like a lot of other games where you're blind where it's like, well, no, it can't be, right? Because
You're not
it's well,
actually blind. You're just in a dark
yeah.
environment.
So like you just see muzzle flashes and like you can hear
Yep.
people.
Yep, you
Like
see
that's pretty
muzzle
much it.
flashes, you can hear people. If somebody makes too much noise, they'll like turn
Does it give them like a
orange.
vague outline or
Yeah,
something?
it gives them a vague outline, or you can see like where they were and like what direction they were running. Um,
Hmm.
and then like there's a button you can press to kind of like scan the environment. But that's like a 30-second cooldown. So you like scan the environment and you can see like different things in the environment, which AirFox always used because there are exploding barrels. And so his plan was to just find the exploding barrels and blow them up, hoping that somebody was next to them. And it worked. I mean, it worked for him. He got quite a few kills like that. So good for him. And so that was the weird game I played. Then I played some Hades 2. They did an update. They added the ability to get to Olympus. Or they added the ability to go up to the road to Olympus. I got to the new boss, Prometheus, and he killed me, and I was sad. but still a really good game. I don't know if you played Hades or Hades 2 yet.
I played the first one a bit.
It's so good. It's so good.
I
Were
can
you
see why people would like it, but I don't know, something about it just didn't really work for me.
the new one has a sprint button, so that's nice. So instead of just because you can dodge with A, but if you hold on to it, you can sprint around, which is honestly a great mechanic. It's way better than what they had in the first one, where you couldn't sprint. But yeah, I played that for a little bit on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I finally got back to playing Mass Effect 3. Really good game. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know if you played any of the Mass Effect games. I know you've probably seen them, but I don't know if they're not your type of game, are they?
I played one, and I played one many times, and I played a lot of 2, but I never actually finished it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I beat 1 and 2 last year, and so I played 3, and I don't want to spoil too much in case you know what? It's been out for over a decade. I don't care. Tally best girl. And so I had to save her, and there's a mission in the game where if you make the wrong choice, Tally kills herself.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I got to the choice, and I was like, I don't know which choice to make here. And so I Googled it. And they're like, yeah, if you choose this option, Tally kills herself. I'm like, well, sorry, buddy. Looks like the other guy's dead. And then I found out I could save both. Like, I could save Tally and make the correct decision and get both the Geth and the Quarians on my side, which was pretty awesome. So, good game. I'll continue playing it next week. It seems longer than 1 and 2. Like, there's just a lot more side quests in this game to do. And I don't know if I'll be able to finish it this week or this upcoming week, but probably the following week in November. And then I played Friday night. Durga and I played some Call of Duty Black Ops 6 because it's included with Game Pass. And I had a lot of fun, actually, playing the multiplayer and zombies. It was good. We were going to play with AirFox, but his internet died. And so he just didn't show up. He was like, don't worry, I'm getting it working. And then we didn't hear from him for 6 hours. And then the next morning, which I streamed for like 5.5 hours, which is 2 hours longer than I normally stream. And then the next morning, AirFox was just like, oh yeah, my internet died, but it's good now. And yeah, so we didn't play with AirFox, but we did play the multiplayer. We played zombies, and I did way better than I thought I would do. I don't know if it's because everybody was sucking or if they're putting us with bots or something like that, but I was actually doing pretty decently on the multiplayer. So I don't know.
You were matched with randos?
Yeah, match with randos. And I Durga and I were consistently getting in the top 3 at the end of the game. So
so fancy.
yeah, I don't know. We're doing all right. Next time I play, it's bottom 5. Just like the bottom. That's all I'm gonna be at the whole time.
Gonna be a little bottom boy.
Yep, exactly. But we had a bunch of news stories last week that we're gonna talk about, and then not a lot of news stories happened this week that I care about. So we're going on with the stories from last week because we didn't do a podcast last week. So this is some old information. The first one's from Ars Technica. It's firing staffers for using its $25 meal credits on household goods. Which I get why Facebook would do that. But on the other hand, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I think that seems pretty petty.
It is. It is pretty petty. I get like not meal credits, but they gave me a credit card at my work, and I get like a certain amount for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's like super generous. It's like better than what Facebook is giving people. Like I get like $60 for dinner. It's great.
It is really well. Okay, so it says they have $20 for breakfast, $25 for lunch, $25 for dinner, with
And with
meal credits issued in $25 increments.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
it's so they probably give you 25 for breakfast and just pop it on there, and it's like, no, don't spend any more than 20. And then 25 and 25 that they just load, like they probably just give them the credits for that meal, and then they take those credits away once, like if they don't use their breakfast credits, it's only done in $25 increments. But it says those who were fired are deemed to have abused the food credit system for a long period of time, said one person familiar with the matter. Some had been pooling their money together, they said, while others were getting meals sent home even though the credits were intended for the office. Ooh. So like they DoorDashed it or whatever to their house instead of the office. Those who violated the company rules only on occasion were reprimanded but not terminated. So it's people who did this all the time.
Yeah, and I get it in the case that like if your boss tells you, look, you got to stop. You can't use the meal credit for other shit. Okay,
I
and then you
think,
just keep doing it. Like you
yeah.
kind of deserve that.
Yeah, it says here in one post on anonymous messaging platform Blind, seen by Financial Times, one former Meta staffer wrote that they had issued $25 credits on items such as toothpaste and tea from the pharmacy right. Okay, tea should count. I would say that would count like as a lunch thing, but whatever. Adding on
I can eat
days.
toothpaste.
No, I was eating the toothpaste. Okay, it's a weird.
You don't understand. I've got a weird fascination. Okay.
On days where I'd not be eating at the office, like if my husband was cooking or I was grabbing dinner with friends, I figured I ought to not waste the dinner credit. Yeah, I get that, but also don't abuse the thing. It says the person who indicated that they had a salary of about $400,000 and worked nights and weekends wrote that they had admitted to the oversight when Human Resources investigated the practice before later being unexpectedly fired. You would think that would be pretty expected.
Yeah, and also I have a little trouble feeling sympathetic towards people that are making over 4 times as much as me.
Yeah, if they're making 400 grand, um, I have a really hard.
$25 a day fucking meal credit, like, it's nothing.
I do. The one thing I will say about this is I believe that Facebook was probably looking for a reason to lay people off.
Yes.
And this had been going on for a while and they didn't care until they wanted to lay people off.
Absolutely.
And so, and they, Zuckerberg has announced that there's 21,000 job cuts in 2 rounds of layoffs in 2022 and 2023, dubbing the latter as the year of efficiency.
Ah,
Wow.
it would be really efficient would be not blowing billions of dollars on a platform nobody fucking cares about.
Yeah,
No?
that's a bad terminology that you're using there. I'm pretty happy.
We should stop spending so much money on actually paying people to make VChat worlds for fucking Horizon Worlds
Yeah.
that no one uses.
As you know, I worked at Facebook briefly for about 9 months and 7, 8 months, something like that. And I had tried to get a full-time job there. And I guess I guess the good thing is I didn't get a full-time job there because I probably would have got laid off. I wanted to have done this because where I worked, it actually had on-site catering and stuff. So I got free food when I was on site. So I didn't have a meal credit that I would have access to. This was, I believe, for places without catering. So like where I was working, you would just go up to the kitchen and cafeteria area. And it used to be, before I worked there, it was a buffet style, but then I worked there during the pandemic, and so they changed it to where they basically had option A and option B, and you would say, I want option A, and they would give you option A, and then you would take that to your office and eat it.
I like prison food.
Yeah, but except for like good, because it was like actually made by like trained chefs, and like they
Except it
actually
was
had a
food.
budget. Yeah, it was food. But you could actually, so they didn't care how much food you ordered. So typically you just go and be like, hey, can I get option A? That looks good. But realistically, like on the last day there, I was like, hey, can I get 2 of A and 2 of B? So I got 4 meals. And I told my supervisor, I was like, hey, man, I'm going to go and get like 2 of each meal. And he's like, raid the mini fridges. Put as much soda in your backpack as you can fit.
What the fuck?
He knew it was my last day there. So he's like, just fucking
Oh.
take all you can and get as much out of this place as you can, man. When he found out that I wasn't going to be like getting like my contract extended and I wasn't going to be getting a full-time job, he called me and he's like, so I expect that you're just going to watch YouTube all day at work. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. Anyway, yeah, so they laid off some people for using money on like toothpaste and tea. I think they should have got a slap on the wrist or something, but I guess if it's for the people who quote abuse the system, but I don't know what that entails. Is it more than once that they did it? Was it like 3 times a week that they did it? Who knows? Because they don't really tell you in this. Anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to go to our next. Oh, this one's great. This is from PC Gamer, and it's Denuvo. You like Denuvo, right?
Yeah, I love DRM. I love protecting the income of large gaming companies.
Yep, me too. Huge fan. So Denuvo, if you don't know, we've mentioned it before on the podcast, but it's DRM, digital rights management, and it's placed in games, and it tends to have a negative effect on like frames per second. So when people have stripped out Denuvo, or when Denuvo has like been removed from games, you notice like a 10% increase in FPS because Denuvo sucks that bad. And so a lot of people hate it. Honestly, I understand why they use it. I might not like it, but I don't think that their newest method to try to earn favor really worked out very well, because they opened a Discord server for Denuvo. And they shut it down within 2 days because obviously, like, we're not going to go in. We're going to complain about Denuvo, but we're not going to go into the server and harass people. Like, that's just dumb. But apparently, not everybody on the internet thinks that way. And basically people were going in there and bullying the Denuvo developers.
You give a bunch of people who absolutely fucking hate your company an avenue with which to attack the company, they're gonna take it.
Yeah, it says Denuvo went to Twitter to announce that, as you can imagine, the amount of inappropriate content has made moderation quite challenging for our small team, who are doing this alongside our regular day-to-day work. For that reason, we've decided to make some changes to the server, which we'll be implementing over the next few days. Stay tuned. And then nobody was able to post for 2 days at the time of writing. But yeah, so the entire server went into read-only mode because, well, obviously, I don't think having a Denuvo Discord server was the best idea. Like, I get that they wanted to like rehabilitate their image, but no, just don't do it. Like,
It ain't gonna work.
No, just stay off of Discord and just do your thing. But like, yes, your thing is making games worse to play, but just go do that and make a ton of money doing it because that's what you do. And yeah, it's fine. People hate you. Like that's okay. Sometimes it's okay to be the bad guy.
You don't really have a choice in this situation. Like
Yeah.
you're you are you are just objectively a bad thing for everyone other than rights holders.
So
And
there, I know I'm bringing up wrestling, but like, there's faces and heels, right?
Mhm.
And faces are the good guys, heels are the bad guys. And sometimes they take somebody like The Miz, who is like very not likable, and they try to make him a good guy, and it just doesn't work. And that's the exact same thing that's here. Is like they're like, no, we can be the good guys. Like, no, you can't. Just be the bad guy. It's all right. Like, you're gonna like it. It doesn't matter. The developers and publishers still fucking like you for some reason. So, and you're making a ton of money off that. So just do that. You don't.
and the developers and publishers like them because it works.
It
Like
does.
that's the worst thing is like unfortunately it's a terrible solution that works because I want to say there's probably been maybe half a dozen games released in the last couple of years that have had Denuvo and been cracked at release.
Well, and that's the thing.
Like
Like, yeah, with Denuvo, it works for their intended purpose, which is for the first 4 to 6 weeks of a game's release, it won't be cracked.
yeah,
And that's it.
And they have numbers to show that like games that release with Denuvo consistently make more money than games that don't.
Yeah. And I mean, it sucks, but I think what they should do is, like make it so that, yeah, Denuvo for the first 2 or 3 months, and then they take Denuvo away, which
Yeah,
will probably increase FPS, like increase performance for that particular system. But
yeah, because
it,
like the way that Denuvo works is they encrypt the main executable for the game, and then it's decrypted in real time as you're playing. So anytime the game has to access code that hasn't been decrypted yet, that's where you get the frame rate loss.
yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it sucks, but it's something we've got to live with. And honestly, I haven't pirated games in a long time. Just because I actually have like disposable income now. It's weird. And so if I want a game, I buy it or I play it on Game Pass.
Yeah,
So like actually going out and like downloading games isn't something I do anymore. But I know there are a
and
lot
I
of
just
people.
don't give a shit about most big game games.
That's true. And like I always thought it was weird, the people who would be like proud of themselves for pirating games. They're like, aha, you're paying money for a game I got for free. And it's like, the only reason I pirated games was because I was broke as shit back in the
Yeah.
day. Like I want to play this game and I'm broke. And so I'm going to do that. But I don't do that anymore because I don't have to. And that maybe make games cheaper. That's what I want people to be able to afford games.
Yeah, that'll
And
never happen.
I know they're just going to keep raising prices. Anyway, don't join the Denuvo Discord server. I don't know if it's back up yet. Again,
It
was
is.
from. Oh, it is.
Yeah, so now you get relegated to a sort of we're going to make sure you're not here to cause trouble channel.
Okay,
And then after a certain period of time, they will move you into another zone where you can actually converse with other people.
that makes sense. That's fair. I mean, I don't have that on my server just because there's not enough people that come into my server that I
No
can't.
one knows we exist.
Hey, we have like new people coming in all the time. Okay, we have
Like
people
once a
come.
month, we get maybe a person.
Yeah, that all the time. That's what I said. We got a new
On a
person.
consistent basis.
We got a new person on Friday. And then sometimes the the worst part about it is people will join the server and be like, I really like the podcast. I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, Bug City Blues. I'm like, you by the way,
One day
go
Connor's gonna outgrow us.
I think he probably can. I just don't think he cares enough to set up his own Discord server. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing. And so just
And,
keep
like-
it on. And he's an admin on here, so he can like create new channels and stuff.
Yeah,
Anyway,
and like, I don't even know. I don't know how running a community like that would even work.
yeah, I don't know
I
either.
don't know what you do with that.
I have no idea. I let him do like his Bug City Blue things on and Clinton's Core Classics things on my server, and it seems to work out well. Anywho, Aliens Romulus or Alien Romulus is a new Alien movie that released not too long ago. I haven't seen it yet. I assume you haven't seen it because you don't watch movies.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I do think their new I like the new promotion that they're doing right now where they are releasing the movie on VHS. I don't know why, but they're doing it.
All right, sure.
It's on December 3rd, the same day as the DVD and Blu-ray releases. 20th Century Studios is putting Romulus on fully functional tape for you to watch, provided that you've got a VCR on hand. Shockingly enough, you might be shocked by this, Aroa, but I do. I do have VCRs.
Wow, I can't believe.
I'm not going to buy it, though. But if you have a VCR, you can watch the limited edition version of the movie. And the studio is vague on how many copies there are going to be on supply. So they're not telling you how much it's going to cost either. I'm guessing like $30 or something. Like,
I don't
'cause
even know how much a movie normally costs, like on Blu-ray.
I have no idea. I don't buy movies on Blu-ray. Also, the tape has only the film and no special featurette attached to the end, like some used to back in the day. I want them to have. Back in the day when you would start up the video and then it would have like 20 minutes of trailers. It was awful.
No, you don't.
I was awful. Still, if you're a collecting fiend, this might be worth it for the grab, especially since its cover art was done by Matt Ferguson, I guess. I don't know who that is. If you scroll down, that poster looks pretty cool.
It's a poster, all right.
And it's definitely a poster. Very red in that poster.
I didn't know that Alien was owned by Disney.
It was Fox.
Yeah, because it was 20th Century Fox.
Yeah, and they got it when they bought Fox there. You know what I'm gonna say. You know what I want, and they're not gonna do it because they're cowards. I want them to release. I would totally buy it if they released it on Laserdisc.
I think there are even fewer people out there that have a functional Laserdisc player.
Oh yeah, obviously, but I would still buy it if and making a VHS tape is far easier than making a Laserdisc because all the Laserdiscs like factories shut down.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, was like, they still obviously, I guess they still have somebody out there with the tooling that can produce VHS tapes. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know who. It's got to be at least one factory, I guess, but like nobody fucking has the shit to make laser discs.
No, because those
Like-
were all like, yeah, those were all done differently, and it wasn't as streamlined as a process, I think.
Well, and like that's definitely like you can't just like adapt a DVD pipeline to pump out laser discs. Like
No.
it's totally different in every way.
What I would do, if I won like the $1 billion lottery, is I would open up a Laserdisc factory. Just sink all of that money into something that zero return on profit or return on investment.
I really do think on some level that if more people were aware of the minute benefits that Laserdisc has, because it has analog audio, right?
It's analog audio. It even has like, I don't know how they managed. So it's analog audio, analog video, but they were also able to get Dolby Digital and like Dolby 5.1 surround sound out of it.
So like, yeah, like you essentially get the same sort of bullshit uppityness that you get from like vinyl, but you get it in a disc format and like video.
The main
So
the main problem with all laser discs is that they are composite. They're all composite video. As in not like the Laserdisc players themselves. With their Laserdisc players themselves do have composite, but also some of them have S-video. But the discs themselves are recorded in composite. So it's you're only gonna get so good of quality. Like I think you can get up to like 480p. But
but if people are willing to buy VHS tapes,
that's true, which is 240, I think.
it's not good. Whatever.
It's not. It's not. No.
You're going to objectively be missing a huge chunk of the fucking movie in this situation.
I
Unless they
also
letterbox it.
That's what I was wondering too. Like, is it pan and scan or are they doing are they doing widescreen somehow?
You gotta just fucking, because like the VCR is not going to output in HD.
It's not.
So
No. Although they did have HD VCRs, which is even more rare than laser discs.
ain't nobody gonna have that.
No.
Shit.
No. But yeah, somebody's gonna buy. I don't know when this is gonna be. Well, we know when it's gonna be released, December 3rd, but we don't know how much it's gonna cost. And obviously, we don't know if it's gonna be pan and scan or letterboxed. But if you really like VHS tapes, you can go and buy this and have it in your Alien collection, I guess, with all of your other Alien movies, except for like Prometheus and stuff, which I guess probably weren't released on VHS tapes. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to our last story, which is actually a good one. It's FTC is trying to enforce a click to cancel rule that makes it so that canceling your subscription is just as easy as signing up for one.
As it should be.
As it should be. This is from Ars Technica. It will soon be easy to click to cancel subscriptions after the US FTC adopted a final rule on Wednesday. This was a couple weeks ago, but that makes it challenging for businesses to opt out of easy cancellation methods. It says here, as a quote, "Too often businesses make people jump through endless hoops just to cancel a subscription. The FTC's rule will end these tricks and traps, saving Americans time and money. Nobody should be stuck paying for a service that they no longer want." It would also make things like Rocket Money, like, is it Rocket Money? Like,
Yeah.
the one that's like, oh, we'll cancel things for you because it just makes
Yeah.
it easier.
Well, it's that, and also apparently people don't look at their fucking credit card / bank statements, so
Yeah.
they're just getting charged left and right without realizing it. Which, like, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But yeah, it would kind of make that a big part of their business moot. So
Yeah, and so that's the basic gist of it, is that they're going to make it easier to cancel your subscription. However, obviously, guess what's happening. I know you can't guess. It's going to be really hard because the cable
could
companies.
it be that the businesses are mad?
Yeah, cable companies are trying to sue the FTC to say that they can't do this. Just like they did with the when we talked earlier, was it earlier this year or last year, when they were coming up with like broadband nutrition labels when you sign up for internet, and like they have a label that will show you all the speeds and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
think it was this year. And they're like, no, we can't do that. It'd be too hard for us to do that. And then they were told, the
We did
FTC
it
was
in
like,
like a week.
yeah, like we can't list all of our taxes and fees. That's what it was. We can't
Yeah.
show you all of that. That would be too complicated. It's like, maybe you shouldn't have so many fucking taxes and fees. Like, maybe you shouldn't have so many like random things that you just put on the bill to jack up the prices. Which, by the way, speaking of internet, I was going to talk about this last week. I got to talk about this now. FTC, click to cancel. Great thing. Hopefully it goes through and we don't lose the, you know, that if in 2 weeks, if the wrong administration wins, then this is never going to happen.
Yeah.
But
Well, the FTC will be abolished.
oh yeah. No, I think the FTC, they'll do what they did last time. The FTC will be around and they'll just have somebody on the board, like, appointed as the head person of FTC that doesn't care about any of it.
Yeah.
So it'll
they
just be useless.
Actually work in the exact opposite way than that the FTC is supposed to work.
Yeah. So with my internet, I got the people from the city came by, or whatever, the contractors, and they're like, "Hey, we're here to give you internet." And I was like, "Sweet, thanks. We're finally here to run the line for you." So they came out, and I told them, "Okay, well, if you're gonna do it on this side of the house, then I'll just put the cord right there under that window, and I'll make it work." And they're like, "Cool, we'll do that." And so they were out there for like 8 hours, which, to be fair, they literally had to cut they had to cut into the road, take out a chunk of the road, dig out the dirt, run the conduit, run the cable, and then put then lay their own like gravel and everything and pavement, and then like solidify that pavement, right? So they were out there for a long
fiber
time.
is no joke.
Well, it
Yeah.
wasn't. It's copper.
Oh,
Because it's not fiber out here, not yet. They can't do fiber out in this area. Well, they can. They just haven't done fiber in this area, so it's coax. Which sucks, but whatever. So they do that, but thankfully they did run the conduit. So if they ever have to upgrade the fiber, they can actually have conduit that they can go through instead of having to tear up the road, which is awesome. And so I go out there at the very end when they're like finishing up, and I see that they're using a flamethrower. So they had laid out their pavement, and then they're using a propane flamethrower to cure it. And I was like, that's cool. But so that was over a week ago. That was not this last Friday. It was the Friday before, where we missed the podcast last week. But they didn't actually run it into the house like they said they were going to. So it just spooled up on the side of my house. Not actually ran the fucking 20 feet. It's a small house. They could run it like 20 feet and just like put the hole in, but they did not do that. They just left it there. And I figured I was going to hear from somebody this week. Haven't heard from anybody. Haven't heard anyone from the city coming out. I haven't heard anyone from my internet company coming out. Thankfully, I have this new internet that seems to be working fine. It was working. So you knew it was working at 500 by 500. They finally fixed it on Friday.
Aw.
So now it's 200 by 200, which is still fine. Like, it's all right. Like, it's not amazingly fast, but I can if I had a family, I might be not liking it, right? If I had like more than just myself and my girlfriend on my internet.
Sure.
But with 200 by 200 for just me, it's fine. And with the upload speed, that's making streaming a lot better. And uploading to YouTube, I was able to upload the podcast to YouTube, and it uploaded before I was done writing the description. Which was
ain't that shit cool?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, what? Not taking because the other one, like the coax is 1000 by 20. It's awful for upload.
Yeah.
So 10 times better on the upload, which is great. Anyway, yeah, so I'm probably gonna call them this week and be like, hey guys, can you run the cable into my fucking house, please? And also, possibly give me a refund for the 2 bills I paid while not having internet. And then after that's ran and I make sure everything's working, I can then cancel that internet. Because I want to make sure that if I ever sell my house and move out, that the person who moves in also has internet access.
Yeah.
So I want them to, and I want them to just fix it like they're supposed to. So anyway, that's my complaint about that. And your computer apparently is broken?
Yeah, so I got another NVMe drive.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna finally move my OS off of a SATA SSD onto my current NVMe drive and move all my games to the new NVMe drive. It's like I've been living off of 512 gigs of storage for my OS drive for years.
Right.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I don't really need a 2 terabyte drive for that. So got the 1 terabyte NVMe drive that I was using for games. So I'm just gonna use that for the OS drive, 2 terabyte for games. I got all that done, worked out. I find out that you can mount like a physical drive in Hyper-V, and then I realized if I could do that, then I could just set up Windows that way, like within VM.
Uh-huh.
But I did all that, got the new OS set up. That's what I'm using right now. But I don't have any of my audio stuff set up. I went back to Voicemeeter because I've got an Elgato Wave XLR,
What
and the Elgato
operating system are you using?
it's still Windows 11.
Then do you have it updated fully?
Yes.
That's the problem.
No, this one's fine.
What? But apparently the driver for Voicemeeter isn't compatible with Windows 11, the newest version of Windows 11.
No. So let me get into it. So
Okay.
I got Voicemeeter going. It's just that it has the classic problem of it requires way too much audio buffer.
Yeah.
There's a discernible lag between me saying something and then hearing it back, and that annoys me.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that I wanted to go back to Voicemeeter instead of doing what I was doing was the Wave XLR software, Elgato's audio software, consistently uses about 10% of my CPU, which,
Okay.
mind you, like, I have the best consumer grade processor that AMD has.
You have a what is it, like 5800 or 70
I have a
something?
7950 X3D.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no reason why it should be using 10 fucking percent of my 32 virtual cores.
Yep, you are correct.
So I was like, all right. And I wanted to do this goofy thing where I did a funny effect that I could only do through this one bit of software called Reaper. It's an audio workstation software.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
do
it.
that. I run my audio through Reaper. I'd put a bunch of effects through that. And I'm like, wow, it's not even using 1% of my CPU. This is so much better than Wave XLR. What am I doing with my life? So whenever I'm rolling out the new OS, I'm like, all right, this is how we're going to do this pipeline this time around. Everything's going to be great. But since I didn't have all that set up and I wanted to sound okay for the podcast, I was like, all right, we're gonna shoot back to the old OS for now, and everything will be fine. And I get in there, and everything is fucked, and I don't know why. My as you heard or didn't hear, I have no sound no microphone. I can't get to the display settings. When I click on display, settings just freezes. I can't see the tray or the clock because my main monitor is considered a secondary monitor, but I have no other monitors plugged in, so I don't know what the fuck is going on there. It's a nightmare. So I'm on the new Windows install and I'm gonna figure it out later. But yeah, everything is broken. My monitor stopped flickering, so I'm assuming it's because it got cold. I don't really know.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't. It can't be that cold, right? I don't know. Maybe.
And I don't it's only it's like 50 outside, but the monitor normally never goes to sleep. And since since it's a mostly vanilla Windows install, uh turns off sometimes. So
Interesting. Yeah, that'll do it. My monitors go to sleep, but my monitor for my so I have 3 monitors for my main computer, and my monitor for my secondary computer does not go to sleep. Just never does. Because that's also my Jellyfin server. So if it goes to sleep, it could also like make Jellyfin go to sleep. So it just doesn't. Anyway, yeah, I hope you're able to fix your computer. And-
it's kind of funny that I probably could have done this in because I had also been playing around with Cubes OS,
uh-huh.
which you know what that is?
I have no idea.
Cubes OS is really it's supposed to be like a security minded operating system, like for the really crazy tinfoil hat grade security people,
So like
where
Red
you
Hat or something.
essentially far beyond even that.
Damn.
The concept is that the base operating system is nothing but a hypervisor. Uh, so you have the base OS, and then everything that you do is run inside of virtual machines. You have a virtual machine for like email, and a virtual machine for web browsing, and a virtual machine for like using Discord or Teams or whatever.
Yeah, so everything's in a
Um,
VM. So if that one starts having issues, you can shut down the VM and turn it back on, and hopefully that will fix it instead of having to reboot the whole computer.
well, and also none of the VMs are allowed to directly communicate with each other. So you have like if you try to copy and paste from one VM to another, you can't. You have to use a separate copy and paste shortcut that copies into the hypervisor OS and then pastes from the hypervisor OS into the other virtual machine. So there's never any direct communication between VMs unless you explicitly configure it to do that. Um, and same with USB devices. No USB device is ever directly connected to a VM. There's a separate USB arbitration VM that controls all USB connections for the entire OS. Uh, and like you can if you want to have network connection be routed through a VM that just runs uh, a like Tor node, so you can make it so that no matter what, all network traffic goes through Tor. Like it's pretty nutty. Um, I liked it for the idea of what you were saying, where like if an application or a group of applications starts bogging things down or screws up, I never have to actually restart my entire computer. I just wipe out the VM and start over, or roll back to a checkpoint or something like that. Um, and I actually had everything working decently well on that. It's just that the current version of Cubes' Windows driver stuff doesn't work all that well.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
it actually worked great with Windows 7. Like they have this thing called seamless mode, where like it just looks like the application is running in its native Windows window and is floating around. It's really neat.
oh, that's cool.
Oh, you broke your Jellyfin server?
I thought he was watching something. I was while you were doing that, I was upgrading to the new version, and now I have to
Oh,
reboot my computer, my secondary computer. So this isn't affected.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So you know what you should have just done is just copied your install of Windows.
Well, I know I could have done that,
That's what you should have done.
but I know I could have, but like there's also just a matter of like Windows just starts to suck over time. Because that was the whole reason I started playing around with the cubes in the first place. Uh, was that like I kind of I want to move to Linux, um, for fun, and also just 'cause then I have more options. Because but in any case, like my current or my old Windows install is having a lot of really stupid problems. Like it would take well over 3 seconds anytime I copied something for it to actually update in the clipboard.
Oh yeah.
I that makes absolutely no sense to me. Like I could take a screenshot. It would sometimes take 10 seconds for it to actually take the screenshot.
Oh, so you just needed a reinstall of Windows anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of fucked up. So
Yeah.
Windows being Windows.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you get all that fixed by next week. I assume you will. But
We can certainly hope.
we can think that might happen, but yeah, we will be back next week. Maybe. No. Actually, probably not next week. Probably taking next week off. I have some stuff I have to do. Next Saturday is my birthday. And so next
Oh.
Sunday, my girlfriend wanted to take me out to sushi, and we're getting her brakes fixed, and so I'll be gone most
Happy
of the day.
birthday! You gotta get your girlfriend's brakes fixed.
Yep, that's a lot of money. So yeah, thank you for being here. We'll be back next week or the week after next. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.